Breaking news, South Carolina Governor Henry McMaster is sharing an update.
Yes, and right now he is in Edgefield County, that is just south of Greenwood County. Let's listen in.
Often they're predicted to go left and to go right. The University of Colorado, I think it is where most of the scientific prediction work is done, and they usually have to predict 2 or 3 different directions and using the best equipment and knowledge that they have. But this one came right at us. It was not predicted to, but it did, and you can see the kind of damage that it did. Most of our hurricanes end up on the coast, and we have a lot of experience there with them. But that experience has paid off here because it was vitally necessary. You look at these trees that are down, you look at the power outages all over the state. Just for some numbers, we have about 3 million, just over 3 million customers, power customers, business and homes in the state. On Friday morning, we had 1.3 million of those customers out of power. Today, we have much less. We're at 272,290 out of power today. That many homes or businesses. And that's great progress, but we need to make more, particularly in Aiken and Edgefield counties that were really hit hard. And that help is on the way. As the linesmen for the companies and others are finishing up work in one place, they're going to come here. We've also had the National Guard, the State Guard. We've had the troops helping, the cooperation between all of our people, the military, law enforcement, private citizens, charities, churches, Salvation Army, the Red Cross. Everyone has been phenomenal and has exhibited a South Carolina spirit that most people around the country never get to experience. So we're going to fix this situation. It's going to get better. We ask people to have patience. There's some places, including here, where it's not just putting a few of the poles back up or putting the wires back up. It is actually deep rebuilding. It's going to take a little bit longer. But the companies are working hard to see that this is corrected and that our people are safe and comfortable as quickly as possible. And we have some folks that will provide detail, and I'll ask Bill Hickson to come forward.
Yes, sir. Thank you, Governor. I'd like to thank everybody for being here today. And I'd like to thank the governor, lieutenant governor, and our House members and the sheriff for what all you've done here for us in Edgefield County. I also live in North Augusta. I represent it, too. We've been hit hard. I've talked to a lot of state officials that have seen the rest of the state. They think this is one of the worst areas that we've got in Edgefield and Aiken County. I'd like to thank you, and I'd like to ask the folks out there to continue to pray for us because we need all the help we can get. Thank you very much.
I, too, want to thank all of you for being here, and I certainly want to thank the governor and his team. It's been a great team. We're in some trying times now. And I just want to say that the folks, the people who live in these areas, Aiken, Edgefield, and Saluda, it's been really tough, but you've been very helpful too. You've been helping each other, and that's what it's all about, neighbors, helping neighbors. And I want to again thank the governor and his team. We are working on it. Things are looking much better than it was, and we are getting there. Thank you so much, and let's keep going forward.
Sure.
Good afternoon. Thank you for being with us. I can't say anything in public without talking about our staff. We have been boots on the ground since last Thursday. We got to the point we couldn't get out of Edgefield to go and assist on calls. But the partnerships that we have with local police, the state police, and everyone that has chipped in, our National Guard cleared the streets for us morning, noon, and night. We are now all over Edgefield County. We believe the biggest part of the roadway is clear. We believe we're safe. Our curfew is going to continue for at least a few more days until we have more power, more communications, more availability of people moving around. We're going to continue the curfew. again, thank you for all the state police have done, the National Guard, and we appreciate it.
Representative?
Thank you so much. I represent Greenwood and McCormick counties, your neighboring counties down at Edgefield. And again, I want to thank the governor and all of his staff for coming with us today. But don't forget the guys that are out there working every night. And I had a good dear friend that used to work for Duke Energy, and he's retired now. And every night when they had an ice storm they were going out, I was sure to text him, give him a call, let him know we're praying for him, we're thinking of you. I think we forget sometimes the sacrifices these folks make. We've got a camp in Greenwood, Governor, of over 1,000 men out there at the Civic Center parked out there. So be sure to pray for these gentlemen out there working, for all your leaders, and thank you for the opportunity to come down today and speak with you.
Also, we have, besides homes and houses in neighborhoods and downtown, we have farms and forests that have been hit hard as well, and we are working towards that as well. And I would ask everybody to remember to pray for your friends, family, and those that we've lost, and we'll get stronger and stronger. Does anyone have any questions?
Yes, Governor, I do. The more I talk to people around this state, especially in our local counties, for our area, particularly sort of the Augusta-Aiken area, a lot of South Carolinians are comparing this to Hurricane Hugo. Where does this rank in terms of that hurricane?
It's about the same, but it's in a different place. The winds were not as high as Hugo. Hugo, that was in '89, and of course it hit right smack on Charleston. And with the north side doing all the damage, going all the way up through McClellanville. I went down there. There were shrimp boats had parked out in the street, well away from the water. It was quite damaging. But we've seen those kind of hurricanes, big and small, over the years. But we've never seen anything quite like this, where we had these winds come up in a place that was not expected to go. This one was predicted by all the experts to go more west than it did, but as it came in, it turned to the east, came right up the Savannah River, and just cleaned house all the way up through not only Pickens, Oconee, Greenville, Spartanburg, but all the way up into North Carolina. And if you've seen the pictures of Chimney Rock and Asheville and those places, because of their mountains and valleys, of course you have streams running through and rivers running, they all flooded. And so they have flood water. They've had the kind of water damage that we usually have on our coast, in addition to everything else. But this was a tough one. This was hard. This is one for the record books. But and there's nothing we can do to stop them. All we can do is be prepared. And I can testify that our South Carolina team was 100% prepared. We always prepare for the worst case. What if they say, well, it might not hit, it might be 75 miles, maybe 100. We prepare worst case and pray that it's for the best. But this time it was the worst. And we were pre-positioned, and the people were ready. But you never can really understand what's going to happen until it gets here. But I think that our state is as well or better organized for this kind of thing, these kind of disasters or other challenges than any other state. We've done it a lot of times, but also the people of our state simply are. Businesses from around the world tell me the people of South Carolina are different from others. They're great states, great people, great Americans, but the people of South Carolina have something special about them. And we have seen that over and over as you go through the neighborhoods and speak to people about neighbors helping neighbors, people volunteers. We've got more people volunteering to do things than probably any place else. So this is one for the story, the history books. It is a shame that so many have lost so much, and particularly that we've lost so many beautiful lives. But we don't want to lose any more. That's why we tell people, please be careful. Think before you do anything. Don't bring those generators inside. Don't be close to them. Be careful of there may still be some limbs that are weak and may fall. Don't have your candles on. Leave them unattended. We've had people have house fires and die because they left a candle unattended. We need to be very careful. Don't go close to down power lines, all those things. But we'll be stronger because of this. We just hate to lose so much in the process.
Governor, we've seen neighbors helping neighbors, just like you've mentioned. It's been so inspiring because help is so needed. Can you talk about your efforts to get both state and federal aid to these people so that it's not just the neighbors and not just the charities?
Well, yeah, that's right. But without the neighbors and without the charities, without the private citizens, we would really be in deep trouble. I imagine that half of the work and half of the care that's being presented is being done by volunteers. In Greenville, at the Bon Secours Wellness Arena, I wish you could have seen that. We went in downstairs, they must have had 30 people down there making sandwiches and lunches and things to go out all over the place. They had doctors and nurses and individuals and caregivers. Most of the people there needed oxygen, and places were running out of oxygen, so they were coming there. They didn't have any place else to go, but most of the people there were volunteers. The cleanup, a lot of the cleanup that's being done is volunteers. But where the team of professionals we have is outstanding. And with our National Guard, our State Guard, as well as the law enforcement, as well as civic leaders and neighborhood leaders, and just what you would think would be your average citizen who turns out to be a very extraordinary person, we've been able to get as far as we've gone and to, I think, avoid a lot of the problems that some other places would have. But again, I think that more people have seen into the spirit and the heart of people in South Carolina during this episode than they imagined that they would see that kind of strength and compassion.
But do you think that maybe some more federal aid or state aid could be on the way?
It is. Yeah, it's on the way. It is certainly on the way. I guess you missed what we talked about inside. Yes.
We weren't allowed to be in there. So if you could brief us, that'd be great.
Well, President Biden called Sunday night and promised whatever we needed through FEMA. And Federal Administrator Criswell called, I think, sometime around then. Transportation Secretary Buttigieg called, I think, 2 days ago, providing whatever help he could provide. But our Department of Transportation, all of our state agencies, including the State Guard, the National Guard, and National Guardsmen from other states, we have them coming in from New York, from California, Michigan, Alabama, Florida, Mississippi, coming from all over the place to help. And they bring in equipment. There's something called the Red Horse. It's a group I think primarily in Florida, where they have trained people. One group's got 30 people, all kind of tractors and lifts and skids, all that kind of. It is all over the place. Walmart has sent in truckloads of water. We've had other groups send things in. President Trump had called his friend Elon Musk, and I understand that Starlink is available and is all over the place as well for communication. But through the FEMA process, there are two types, mainly two things. There's a public help and the individual assistance, public assistance and individual, and you have to apply for it. But so far, I think we have 80-something FEMA representatives that are 182 that are in the state now, going around responding to people who have called in looking for public assistance, and I think they have already paid out over $4.5 million. There'll be a lot more than that, but the public assistance as well is being promised, but has not been provided yet. And we have now 16 counties that are eligible for that, and we think there'll be a couple more. You want to hear them? I'll read them to you.
Oh, yeah, that'd be great.
Okay, so far, and these are in alphabetical order. This is for that assistance. Is Aiken, Anderson, Bamberg, Barnwell, Cherokee, Edgefield, Greenville, Greenwood, Lawrence, Lexington, Newberry, Oconee, Pickens, Saluda, Spartanburg, and Union. And just today, Abbeville and Richland were added. And that's most of the counties. There may be some others that, if they meet a certain threshold as established by FEMA, then they'll be available as well.
So do you expect more to be added?
Don't know. I think these that I've mentioned, these 16, is that 16 or 18? That's 18 total. That covers most of the damage we've heard about, but there may be more. But if they reach the threshold, the FEMA threshold, then they'll be included as well. But they need to send that information in. It needs to be gathered up. And there is, it was stated a moment ago, 182 of those assessors are going around right now, estimating the damage and seeing if a claim would be justified.
Was there anything else we missed in the briefing that maybe the people of Edgefield or Aiken County should know? Just because we weren't in there, it'd be great to know whatever could be shared. I know everyone's so hungry for information right now.
Well, I guess that the main thing is that we have a great team. The entire team is on the field. We know that Aiken and Edgefield are two of the counties that have more power outages than the others. In Edgefield, 53% of the power is out. In Aiken County, 34% of the power is out. I think Greenwood is close behind that. We started out with 1.3, I may have told you this, 1.3 million outages in a state with 3 million meters, and we're now down to 272,290. Because if it's yours, it's the one that really counts to you. But we have people working around the clock, and we were informed Dominion is taking all their people that have finished their work elsewhere, and they're bringing them here. We've got law enforcement. SLED is cooperating with Sheriff Rowland and everybody else. It is a great team effort, and the people from FEMA that have come to help and others from outside that come to help all comment on how well our team works together, how qualified they are, and how determined.
So you mentioned FEMA. One of the other resources when we saw Senator Graham yesterday was Red Cross. Can you tell us how Red Cross is doing and resources they're sending you?
I don't know what all they are sending, but I know they are sending resources. I spoke to the president of that a few days ago. Also, I think I mentioned Walmart is sending truckloads of water. The other entities who's that? Others have sent things as well. I'm sure they're more on the way.
Two more questions, Joe.
Governor, why did it take so long for you to get here? And I mean, we had a visit from a U.S. Senator yesterday, and Kemp's been all over our counties in Georgia. So, what was the delay?
Which delay?
Why you haven't been making it to Edgefield and Aiken County?
Well, I haven't been here in person, but I've been here in spirit because we've been talking about it ever since this thing happened, and talking to people who have been constantly on the phone with the sheriff and others, as well as citizens themselves. There's a lot of information flow, but I promise you that Edgefield, Aiken, none of these places have been ignored by anybody. Ms. Evett, Lieutenant Governor, would you like to speak?
Sure. So I've been traveling around this part of the state today, was up in North Augusta this morning at the pods, giving out water, giving out food, and you know, what we've been hearing all day is the amazing connectivity between neighbor to neighbor, and everybody helping everybody. And the state has been in there with the State Guard. The Red Cross was at, I was with them earlier. They'll be sending down more meals. Dominion sending down all the rest, about 3,000 linemen. I'll be here tomorrow to add to the ones that are already here. Road crews are continuing to clean up. So please, if everybody can just be a little bit more patient, the cavalry is here. here, and they've been here, and they've been working. As the governor was saying and has been saying in all of his press conferences, this is a storm like no other. So it's getting debris up before the lines can get up, and there's been a number of poles down. Last I heard, 1,900 still going up by Dominion that are down. So they are working hard. So please be patient. Please look out for them. Please thank them, because they are local, many of them, and they are here helping all of us get power on while their homes may still not have power. So thank you to the Red Cross. Thank you for all volunteers, our State Guard, our National Guard, for coming out, and everybody for helping each other. We're at the end of this, so we have to stay strong. We are South Carolina strong, and that's what makes us different, is that we help each other, and we bring all the positivity we can to every bad situation. Thank you, Governor.
Last question you need to watch.
Yeah. Seeing that the storm disrupted a lot of election offices, is there a reason why voter registration wasn't extended?
Why voter registration wasn't extended?
It has been, Governor.
It's been extended.
That's the question?
Yeah.
It has been.
Okay.
And what's the answer?
10 days. It's been extended 10 days.
Okay.
All right. Everybody good?
All right.
Thank you.
All right.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. You said a whole lot better.
Yeah, that's what I'm going to go do. Sir, let's get a group photo.
If you were just joining us, we were listening to Governor Henry McMaster. We have seen him all over the state throughout the week holding these press briefings. This time he was down in Edgefield County. They gave an update on Edgefield as well as Aiken counties, two areas that were hit extremely hard by Helene. So right now, the governor is saying that they are still working to restore power, not only in those areas, but to other areas across the state for households still in the dark at this hour. We also want to go over the death toll. We have an update now. As of yesterday, the death toll from Helene was at 41 in South Carolina. We now know the death toll as of 2:40 today has risen to 46 deaths. And when we look at specific areas, Greenville, 7 deaths there. Anderson, 5 deaths. Greenwood, 1 death. Lawrence, 3 deaths. And Spartanburg with 8. So again, the death toll continuing to rise. And it's also important to note the governor made mention of this earlier this week, that sadly this hurricane has been more deadly than Hurricane Hugo back in 1989, where 35 people lost their lives during that time. Again, the death toll now in South Carolina at 46.
So many people impacted, so many people needing help. The governor also just announcing a short time ago during that news conference that the number of counties eligible for federal disaster assistance has grown and now also includes 2 more upstate counties. Those are Abbeville County and Union counties. That is in addition to many other counties in the upstate already on that list. Lawrence County, Anderson, Greenville, Spartanburg, Cherokee, Oconee, Greenwood, and Pickens counties, all now eligible for that federal disaster assistance. If you need help applying for that federal disaster assistance, you can head to WYFF4.com. We've put all of that information for you on our website.
Yeah, all of those counties listed basically encompasses the entire region. So it just goes to show the magnitude of the aftermath of Helene. And back here closer to home, we have some information from Greenville County Schools. We now know that Greenville County Schools will be closed on Monday, according to the